Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
The Flyers fell for the trap. They did. They had all these big-time games, Toronto, Boston, the Capitals, and in between the Capitals and the Islanders, you get thrown an Ottawa Senators team. Keep in mind the Flyers have been really hot. You see a team that hasn't been as successful as the teams you're playing. You think, oh, we can totally win that hockey game. Well, they didn't. They fell 2-1, and it wasn't so pretty. Before we dive into this, do not forget about the promo code BROADS that will save you $20 at SeatGeek's checkout page when you are buying tickets. No brainer, save money, you get to be entertained going to a game. Use it today. So, the Flyers do change up the lines a bit, and it's funny, I mentioned how Claude Giroux scored that goal against the Capitals to tie the game up late because of Jake Voracek. And I mentioned how Jake Voracek wasn't able to really get going this season, and he's been on that third line with Kevin Hayes and Twarynski. Well, Alain Vigneault mixes up the lines a bit. You keep Farabee up top with Giroux, but you throw in Jake Voracek, and it's funny that Farabee stays up top because after that Washington Capitals game, he really criticized himself and stated, if I was the head coach, I wouldn't have put myself back out there. I wouldn't have played myself, which is so unique to see from a 19-year-old playing at the NHL level to call himself out like that. But Alain Vigneault rewards him by keeping him up. Now, you're starting to see now that he's getting more time, he is still so raw, and there are some moments where maybe physically he's getting a little bit abused and things of that nature, but that's going to happen when you are 19 years old going up against guys in their late 20s and 30s, but you're seeing more of his growing pains now that I think the adrenaline rush has stopped with him and he's getting more ice time. But listen, he's a fantastic hockey player with great IQ. I'm not knocking him, and he should totally be there continuing to get minutes. But I thought it was interesting that Voracek did end up playing with Claude Giroux after I mentioned that last game, but I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe Voracek just isn't that good, If he's not that good, you don't force him up there. I didn't really see too much that I loved out of that line as a whole, It's not like Voracek and Giroux stood out to me in this game in Ottawa thinking, oh, they totally need to continue to play together. I suggested it. It was attempted, but nothing really stood out to me. Not that one game is a big enough sample size. You've seen them throughout their career play a lot together, so they've had success together. I don't know. Maybe he's just not as good as we need him to be. Carter Hart gets the nod. We've seen an interesting flip-flop back and forth because Moose has been great, but there's a back-to-back anyway, so it doesn't matter who played in this game in particular because the next night against the Islanders, the other goalie will be going in between the pipes. So the Flyers controlled the game for the first 5 minutes at an elite rate. So many chances. JVR with this sick deke hits the iron. So quickly after that, another big opportunity. He can't cash in. The netminder makes a fantastic save, who had a great night all around, may I add, who kept the Ottawa Senators involved in the game. But Pitlick comes down the right side and snips all Twine. What a shot. How about that out of Pitlick? 1-0 Flyers. But after the first 5 minutes, I'm not going to lie, it was all Senators. They controlled the game. They went from being abused in their own defensive zone for 5 full minutes to being the one abusing the Flyers. And it flipped instantly. I wonder if, because you always think, did the Flyers really overlook their opponent if they came out that hot? I almost think because they controlled to that degree so early, after the first 5 minutes, psychologically, the entire Flyers team thought to themselves, they're going to win this game. The Senators stink. They're going to be able to just go out there, make it happen, all based off the first 5 minutes. If the first 5 minutes didn't go to that level and it was more even playing field, I don't know if you would have saw an Ottawa Senators domination like that after the first 5. But it did happen, and it was all Sens. So, in the second period, Ennis scores a power play goal. It was a squeaker. It weirdly found its way through Carter Hart. Now, I know Carter Hart will lose sleep over that one, and he will not want, that to go in. Realistically, it can't go in. The Senators stink on the power play, and somehow they find a way to score a power play goal like that. That one has to be saved. Fluky goals like that happen all the time in the NHL. There's so many different goaltenders. But Carter Hart has to make that save. It's 1-1. 4 minutes later, the Sens get on the board again. 2-1. No scoring in the third. But here's the thing. The Flyers had so many power plays in this game. Could not score. Early on in the game, I thought their power play actually looked horrible. To end the game, there was a chance for the Flyers with a 4-minute power play. You even pulled your goalie, so it was 6-on-4. Nothing. All throughout the game, there weren't these moments where I thought the Flyers had a great rush and this nice zone entry where the puck was moving. There were a couple moments, a couple little plays here and there. But all around, they didn't come in these waves like we have seen them over the last few games. There were a couple nice cross-crease plays entering the zone where there was like a nice tip going to the net and the little amounts here and there. But there wasn't a big wave of Flyers hockey that we have seen. Now, I will give credit to the Senators because I thought they played well. I was actually impressed with what I saw out of them at times. They were a joke last year. You know, they had that big moment where the Uber driver recorded a video of them bashing their head coach, and it went viral, and it was a nightmare, really. It was a nightmare for the team. They were lost culturally. Their locker room was a mess because of it. But they put together some wins so far this season. They looked good. They had speed. They held the Flyers off. It was never as if they were on their heels and the Flyers, like I said, talking about it from a Flyers perspective, like I said, there was never a time where the Flyers came in these waves. Ottawa was never on their heels, dumping the puck, icing the puck late minutes to try and hold off the win, even though the Flyers were on the power play. It wasn't as if Ottawa was really clinching. They controlled the hockey game. They had all the momentum. So I look at the special teams. For the Flyers. And they've been good. I think they failed the squad in this tilt in Ottawa. Now, am I going to cry about things? No, I'm not going to cry about things. They've grabbed points in multiple games in a row against really good teams on the road. Why would I cry about a loss? Things like this happen. Bounce back, though. A loss in New York, it's a different taste in the mouth compared to a win. If you win in New York, you feel a little bit better. You say, okay, the loss in Ottawa happened. They bounce back with a win. A loss does taste completely different, and it's tough because that Ottawa team has strung together a lot of wins. They play this sound hockey. That's what they do. They have the system because of Barry Trotz where it's just a sound system. It's not pretty, but they play it, and it works, and it's effective. We do need guys, though, to step up on this team. I don't think Kevin Hayes has been playing awful by any means, but he hasn't been productive offensively. He has brought a good element to this team because of the center depth, but he has not been producing offensively. He has not been able to score. I think Claude Giroux needs to step up. I'm a big supporter of his game, and I love the strip the C thing. I always found that so comical. But I think he needs to figure out how to be more effective. Definitely Voracek. I would like JVR to score some more. It's the young guns right now that are carrying the team. Oscar Lindblom, Travis Konechny. They're carrying the squad right now. Joel Farabee with his energy. We do need some guys to step up. Cootie's been a role model. This dude is a warrior. This guy plays through anything. He really does. Now, it's crazy that he battles so many injuries all the time, and I know all these players do. You just don't hear about them as much, and really, because it's just hockey, they play through anything. But Sean Couturier always has something. Now, he's productive with whatever he has, so I'm not knocking him by any means. But he always has something. He's one hell of a warrior. I'll tell you that for free. It could have been worse, though, than 2-1. And what I mean by that is Bobby Ryan had a wide open opportunity on Carter Hart, and he hit like the side of the net and the post. Logan Brown early. A beautiful tic-tac-toe play by Ottawa. Wide open net back door. Just completely misses. Everyone in the stands, oh, are you serious? How do you miss that? One of those. He scores that goal maybe 99 out of 100 times. I mean, that doesn't even sound that crazy, actually. I had to be better than that. 9,999 times out of 10,000. See, in those early minutes when all of this occurred, I figured maybe the Senators are this bad, and wow, the Flyers look fast, and wow, they look like they're going to dominate this game. Look how great they came out flying. It's crazy how fast the ice shifted. Alain Vigneault messed around a little bit with the lines. He's not afraid to move things around, and I'm okay with that. I think you'll see him go back to something else against the Islanders. I could be wrong. He might try it again. But I think you might see something flip around just to maybe spark the boys. Maybe to try and get Kevin Hayes going. Maybe to try and get Voracek going. Maybe he'll keep Claude Giroux and Voracek together to try and sneak something out of Voracek. Something tells me Alain Vigneault does not like Voracek, though. It's almost as if Voracek needs a little push in the ass. But he's a veteran guy who shouldn't need that. And I don't know if Alain Vigneault really likes it. We'll see, though. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. See you next time.